everybody. I'm Maria Cristina Bertoli, PhD, and I'm the Director of Studies here at Personal English. Welcome to this Flash English number 4. Today I'm going to introduce you to the use of verb patterns. Now, in the first place, what are verb patterns? They are sequences of two verbs, the first one being conjugated and the second one being tenseless. For example, I have managed, which is the conjugated one in the present perfect, or I enjoy. They are both gonna be followed by a verb. Now the problem usually is this tenseless verb in the infinitive, to do, or in the gerund, doing. That's usually the problem. Now, the classic method we used to go about it is, let's say, learning by heart a list of verbs where we have the verbs followed by the infinitive and the verbs followed by the gerund. It's actually much easier than that, as we're gonna see today. Why so? Because in English the infinitive is connected to the idea of an action which achieves a result. By contrast, the gerund is more time being spent on something, so an action that takes time but maybe doesn't lead you anywhere, and it's conceived of as an activity. Now, depending on the meaning of the first verb, as we're gonna see, it's very easy to figure out whether it's one or the other. But let's proceed through a series of examples. I have managed to do this. Now, to manage has two meanings. I can use it to say, for example, I manage a company or I run a company, I am in charge of it. In this case, to manage means, as we're going to see later, to succeed in doing something. So to reach basically a goal that I set to myself. So by definition, the intrinsic meaning of the verb requires the use of, as you can imagine, an infinitive. I have managed to do this. Now, in the second example, I enjoy. Enjoyment is about leisure, it's about the time that I spend on something and not so much on a result being achieved. So I enjoy doing this. So as you can see, the principle is relatively simple. Now, as we can see from example number 3, I have succeeded is perfectly synonymous with I have managed, but there is a tiny but significant difference. I have succeeded in. This verb is followed by a preposition, so no matter the actual meaning of the verb itself, whenever we have a preposition followed by a verb, the verb will be in the gerund, in doing. Yes. Same story with thank you for being here, with this gerund being used because of the presence of for, the preposition for before it. Or another example is a classic ending to any business email, which is looking forward to hearing from you. Now, why do we use the gerund here? Because the still is not the to of the infinitive, but it's the second preposition in a relatively complicated phrasal verb, where we have look forward, first preposition, to second preposition, and then hearing because of the presence of to. So far we have seen when the first verb entails the idea of a result, it's going to be followed by the infinitive. When the first verb entails more the idea of time, it's going to be followed by the gerund. When we have a preposition, no matter the meaning of the verb, it's always going to be the gerund. Now, there are a few interesting cases where, let's say that the sentence has a different meaning depending on whether what follows the first verb is the infinitive or the gerund. And this is the case with number 4 and number 5. I stopped to smoke and I stopped smoking. two completely different sentences from the point of view of meaning. Why so? Because I stopped to smoke. This is a result which I mean to achieve, and it means that I interrupt whatever I'm doing with a view to smoking, and that's my purpose. So, by contrast, I'll stop smoking. That's about my intention to quit this bad habit, to grow out of it, and so this is quit. And it means that I'm not gonna spend any more time doing this activity in the future. We find something similar with examples number 6 and number 7. I like or I love eating apples, and I like or I love to eat apples. Now, many non-native speakers use like or love followed by one or the other indifferently, but this is not exactly correct. The meaning is different. I like or love eating apples. It's more like, the time that I spend doing so. This is an activity which I enjoy doing. So it's more like I present it in terms of a pastime, almost. By contrast, I like or I love to eat apples. It's more about achieving a result. That's about the fact that the doctor has told me that it's healthy. So I think it's the right thing to do. I can do something similar with I like watching TV, meaning that this is fun for me and I love spending time on this, but I like to go to the dentist once a year. Doesn't mean that I'm a sort of a masochistic person who wants to go to the dentist, but it means that I think it's the right thing to do. So the meaning of like is actually modified by the presence of either the gerund or the infinitive. There are very few cases like this. We have more cases where we actually find both options being more or less identical. For example, I started to do this, or I started doing this. The meaning of the verb to start is rather ambiguous, I would say, so it can be followed indifferently by either the infinitive or the gerund in that case. So that's all for today. I hope this will prove helpful to you so as to be able to nail them every time. And until next time, take care and be well. Bye.